Alright, so real quick here, this is the Aliens gun that came off of the Aliens in Cidercade, Houston. This pot, the first thing I noticed, these wires were not soldered onto the pot. And Jonathan, you asked about these pots, whether or not they're supposed to have 3 wires or 2. On the very first revision of the gun board, so the board that's behind this display here, the pots only have 2 wires. On the later revisions, the pots have 3. So this particular gun, the pots both only have 2 wires. So this is normal. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was that this pot, so I've got the gun centered as much as it can be, right? Centered based on its horizontal axis to the base. The pot is not centered. So as you can see, we go this way, we have full motion. But if we go, well, look at that. The pot moved away from the gun. So, okay, maybe that would explain it then. However, I'm going to continue this. When I first got to this thing, pot not being centered, turning the gun to the left caused the pot to hit its end of throw before the gun hit its final position. So if you look at this, that's all the way right, that's all the way left. So you notice it's not moving as far left as it is right, and that's because the pot is stopping the gun. That's not going to work. You have so much leverage moving this gun around as a player that you're going to rip that pot a new one in a heartbeat. And you won't even notice it. It's going to be that fast and that strong. So the way you have to set this is you set the gun to center, and when you're doing the vertical pot, you also then need to center the gun vertically. Okay, we're doing the horizontal pot, so we're going to set the gun to center, and then you're going to set the pot to 12 o'clock as best you can. Okay, well, this 12 o'clock happens to be down at the bottom. So I thought 12 o'clock was all the way up here, and it is not. So that would have been bad. So on this particular pot, that is 12 o'clock. It's going to vary from pot to pot. And you can see 12 o'clock by this flat spot right here on the shaft. Some pots, 12 o'clock will be back here. You see, that's a physical stop right there, so it's not going to go any further. On this particular pot, 12 o'clock is down here. So we're going to set that to 12 o'clock. And then we tighten these 2 down. You don't need that pot like crammed. You don't need the gears crammed into each other super hard. You just want them to be making contact. So you can actually, like, I've got it too close there. Back off just a tick. And the reason you don't want those too close is because if they're too close after a period of time, one of these two is going to grind down. So if you back them off to where they're just kind of lightly making contact, even put white grease on this contact position point here, and that's going to help these things last longer. This gear will eventually break because this pot will eventually seize, and then this larger gear is going to win the, hey, one of us is stuck battle. So it's pretty common to see these broken. And some of you might ask why these aren't made out of metal. Well, when the pot seizes, if both of these were metal, one of them is going to break anyway. So there's really no point to making those out of metal. So I'm going to tighten this down. I just so happen to have an Aliens computer on the bench, so I can plug this thing in and verify that it works. However, I'm pretty sure that under Windows XP through USB here, even Windows 7 and Windows 10, this thing will show up as a dual axis controller. And even the buttons work too, I think. So you'll get up, down, left, right on your monitor, and then trigger switch, reload, and grenade should also all show up as buttons within the controller. So there you have it. Very, very important when you're replacing these pots. That pot's $45 plus tax and shipping. So when we blow through them, we're blowing through $45 plus tax and shipping. That thing should last 2 to 3 years on the minimum. Very important. Center the gun, center the pot. And after you get all that done, gently move the gun until the gun is hitting its end of sweep, not hitting the stop position on the pot. All right? All right.